Hello, welcome to my first, maybe, what do you call it, dev blog. But yeah, I've been playing around with doing a game because I mean it's a lifelong dream, and I think, yeah, why not? Why not try? But yeah, the first problem I have is, do I go with 2D or 3D? And I've been like for weeks I've been trying to figure out like which do I pick, because I keep trying to like figure out as I'm just working alone. 2D seems like the best choice, like it's easier to get started, but I think 2D is much more harder to make look good. Like you have to be really talented to make it look good, like pixel art. So I'm not really that talented with 3D. Yeah, I think you can get away with what more effect you put on. Like I think it's easier to make 3D look serviceable than 2D. At least that's how I'm thinking. And since I want to play around with like exploration, like having a not like an open world, but at least a big world to run around and explore, and I think 3D is much better to that than 2D. Like I want to build like cityscapes. Like I don't know how you do that in 2D. Not 2D like in side plane, but let's say I make a like isometric 3D. That's not really good for cities because you're so limited by the camera angle. In 3D you just have to worry about it because like the player chooses like how the camera works. Yeah, and like there's some interesting things I've been thinking about also, like 2D versus 3D. It's like I want to explore like adult themes, and in 2D, like let's say doing 2D pixel art, like having like more adult themes, it's much easier to do without getting hit by the sensors around, like let's say Steam. But when you do 3D, then it becomes much more realistic. Yeah, that's an interesting thing I never thought about, but I'm keeping in mind, like, okay, where do I start? Yeah, I've been like writing a lot down a lot, but yeah, and I think 2D is easy to start with, 3D much harder to start with. So yeah, I don't know. What do people do? Like I know most people start with 2D because it's easier, but I fear also like pixel art is so done, and most 2D I think are done in 3D now. Like I just saw like a documentary like about Rogue Legacy 2, and it's 2D but it's done in 3D, and I think it's the same for like Hollow Knight. So when you want that kind of fidelity, it's like you probably go 3D because it's much easier to do than hand animate everything and hand do anything. Yeah, I don't know what to do. What do you do? I'm sure. Yeah, I'm probably some of you are already doing game stuff. So let me know, please. What are your thoughts? What have you done? Yeah. Anyway. All right, see you soon.